Okay.
Good morning, guys.
Good
Welcome
morning.
to the Sunday Morning Wake and Bake with Ashley, our delivery driver,
And Shea, owner and operator.
and with our very special guest, Papa Bear himself from Rasta Bear Farms. Yeah.
Good
morning, everybody.
Bear is here.
Yes, I know. So
Finally.
finally got Papa Bear on the show. So thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you guys who have found our new Facebook page. We are still getting likes and follows on there, so if you guys could please share our page with your friends. Those of those are patients. I do got special gifts for those who do that for us. As well as anybody who leaves a review on our page. You know, if you've used our service, there's some reviews you can do. Give us some stars, give us a review, and next time we see you guys, we'll definitely take care of you guys. So this week, of course, we got Papa Bear here.
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah.
I'm doing good.
You're doing good?
Yeah.
Good.
I'm excited. I've been doing some growing, some harvesting.
We've been definitely in harvest season. So.
Yeah, I've got some a great new product that I was going to debut here on the show here today.
And what are we going to be debuting, man?
Well, I actually have a new harvest that we just got ready, and this is a cherry pie.
Oh, wow.
And
Smell of that. I've been
it's
smelling this for
the aroma is quite incredible. It's got great aroma. The flavor, you know what? It's just hitting on all 8 cylinders. And Mama Bear actually made some banana nut bread with this cherry pie. And it just seemed like the terpenes.
the terpenes in it.
It
Yeah.
seemed like it came through as banana nut cherry bread.
Which we're going to let you sample that after the show.
Oh,
yeah.
it's incredible.
Oh, yeah.
I
It's
couldn't believe it.
incredible. It's
I was
like...
in LA last night.
Yeah. I've seen the pictures, and it was just amazing.
really
I mean,
good,
just
It really almost tastes infused.
right.
And
It tastes like you're eating like banana bread, but with like a cherry pie hybrid to it. It
Right.
was like eating 2 in 1. It was weird because you would
God.
taste like that banana, but some reason the terpenes from the can of butter from the cherry pie just gave it that extra sweet little like.
it did. It was fantastic.
We actually kind of almost got ourselves in trouble. Like we ate a couple
really?
of
Oh my
slices.
God.
I did.
Yeah, Pops was like
Less is more.
about 45 minutes after eating 2 slices of Mama Bear's can of banana bread. He was like, "Oh shit!"
I slept,
he was like,
I slept
"Oh
really
man."
well. I'm gonna leave a little bit out for some pipe hits and bong hits, but
Cool.
I'm old school. So
Papa Bear's bringing it old school. with the
in my
joint, man.
opinion, there's only one way to smoke weed,
Absolutely.
and that's the right way.
Yeah.
And that's done with a nice rolling paper.
Of course, everyone has their own ways of consuming, your medicine. So,
Right. The
you know,
thinner the paper, the better. You know, you want to get all the flavor, all the aroma, and the only way you could do that is.
do you have a preference on papers, or do you just?
You know, well, it's funny because when I was younger, I was a zigzag man. And then all these hemp style papers started coming out, and that's what I prefer. I like the nice thin, the kind where you can see through it.
Well, we use the Bob Marleys primarily because
Yeah.
we get 50 leaves out of a pack because we kind of go through.
And my buddy George hooks us up.
Yes, Tobacco Castle here in Los Osos off of LOVR right next to Valley Liquor, which those guys are also amazing. Great food. Of course, gas is there. Anything you need. It's a nice location.
Valley Liquor is definitely my go-to.
His name's
spot for
George,
food.
but he doesn't know his name is Jorge too.
Yeah, but
So.
George at Tobacco Castle is absolutely amazing. So if you guys need anything, I mean cigarettes, vape pens. If you guys maybe don't smoke cannabis, they have the e-liquids there. They also do have some of the CBD waters and stuff there. So yeah,
Right.
definitely take a look at
Oh my
George
God.
over at Tobacco Castle. You know, we got to get an ashtray for up here.
We do.
We lack that.
That is, it's got that smooth kind of cherry aftertaste on your tongue, and
I don't smoke too much flour, but what I do.
it is really
Oh,
it's
wow.
on point.
I'm definitely tasting the cherry right
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's-
yeah.
now. Most of what I'm getting at the moment.
And I think, like, the other day, when you almost taste the crust a little bit, too, in it. Like, almost that little breaded, because the earthiness kind of comes out with the sweet.
Definitely very, very earthy.
Yeah.
Very, very cherry.
I like it. I like
Love
it. Yeah.
Definitely.
And it's got it delivers a really high level of THC. Not to honk my own horn, but I think all my flour Sometimes,
Right.
I try to hit, there's three things, when I'm growing flower, I call it a AAA standard. One, it's got to smell fantastic, look fantastic. It's got to look fantastic, it's got to smell fantastic, and it's got to taste fantastic. And when it's got those three elements, that is when I put my stamp on it. I have product that we distribute through the store that I don't put my stamp on it. Is it because I'm embarrassed? No. It's just that maybe in the process of it, I didn't get all the element of everything that I wanted out of it. And because of that, I'll say, hey, put it on the shelf, sell it, just,
Well, as a grower, you know what I mean?
Sure.
And as those at home, too.
You become a perfectionist.
Right. And then as a grower, not each plant is the same. You can't just, if I'm not mistaken, you can't just start one and just say, hey, this Bubba Kush is going to grow the same as this cherry pie. So
and multiple rooms, too. We grow in multiple rooms, all indoor, hydroponic, soilless. And, it depends, the room and the temperature of the room. Just everything that's going on in that room will make every batch just a little different. And, it's when you can dial in the factor in each room and deliver every time is when, you get a good grow. That's what we call it,
And how long have you been growing? I mean, I know this is kind of weird, those who are watching at home, because Papa Bear is my dad.
Yeah.
So for those who know, if you can't tell by the resemblance, he's my dad.
Well,
so just so you guys can kind of get a feel of what, we're about, how long would you say you've been growing?
Boy, I would actually say that I probably started growing in the late 80s and probably got good at it in the late 90s. So it was kind of, but back then, indoor hydroponic growing wasn't really happening. We used to do our seasonal grows. So, we would have to find a location, put our plants out in the backyard or something like that. But the biggest problem we always have, and it's the saddest thing, is people find out about your grow, and back in the day, people were ripping them off.
Right.
That, you would do all the work, you would grow all these big plants, and a week before harvest, you'd go out to your secret spot, and all your plants would be gone. You just, it was heartbreak. So, I actually got introduced to hydroponic growing, in 2004, 2005. And a guy named Daniel owns a hydroponic store in Kern County, very successful in Kern Hydroponics. And, Daniel got me into hydroponic growing and really kind of helped me fine-tune what I was doing. I was able to, say, hey, this is what I did. What do you think? And he would say, hey, I think you're kind of missing this element or that element, and help me fine-tune my room, my grow. Right. And then I realized that you could have a great room, you could have a great nutrient program, all the finest equipment, and then you could end up with a crappy strand, and it takes time to learn all that stuff. So then you're careful where you get your seeds from or your clones from, all those elements fall into a successful grow.
So for those you would say that are just starting out growing, don't be intimidated.
No, not at all.
It's going to be a fail and trial and,
all the decades I've been growing. And 3 months ago,
I had let's smoke, dude.
Right. Shea will attest to this. 3 months ago, I had a crop. I was like, man, I can't believe I grew that. It was just, the flavor wasn't there, the smell wasn't there. It's always very potent. That's one thing I can always deliver is very potent product. But when it doesn't smell great or taste great, it's missing it's missing an element that everyone that's what they enjoy the most.
And I mean, as a grower, with California, we're coming in, I think we're about 5 weeks, 5.5, 6 weeks away from the new year and the legalization.
Right.
How do you feel about what California is coming in, or, how do you feel about even our county ordinance?
Well, I can tell you that in San Luis Obispo, we have a little bit of some issues going on with our board of supervisors. No, I'm all right. I'll wait
He's
for
waiting for this.
Our board of supervisors, you know, it's funny because we already set, we've already determined what we wanted. And we did that during 2016. We had the election. We had Prop 64. And we all voted on it. And overwhelmingly, by 68%, San Luis Obispo County voted to legalize recreational cannabis. Not medical cannabis, not distribution of medical cannabis. Recreational. Loud and clear. Let's go to the polls. Let's vote on it. 68% said, hey, we want recreational cannabis. And so, and it's the responsibility and the job of the Board of Supervisors to set ordinances and create boundaries and kind of what I call sub-laws around the will of the people. So it's not their job to afterwards, after we've gone to the polls and decided what we wanted, it's not their job to all of a sudden say, well, we don't want that. Or we're going to not let you have recreational, or we're going to restrict it down to absolutely nothing. You know, it's really sad because I think, you know, especially local officials, you know, they should come, you know, I wish there was a review where the people can step up and say, hey, look, if you're not doing what we want, if you're not carrying out and creating ordinances based on what we voted on, then maybe you shouldn't be in that position. Because, you know, I just feel that, you know, what happened is special interests can get involved and people behind the scenes are maybe supporting
one thing as opposed to
we're hearing a little bit about that too, you know, with the district supervisor from one area is wanting to ban recreational sales and distribution in San Luis Obispo, but they're approving it for their area in Napomo. So it's like, are you approving it in your area so you reap the rewards of having recreational sales, but you're standing firmly against it in San Luis Obispo?
Because, I mean, the recreational sales has a lot of opportunity for, I mean, us as, you know, taxes here in California. I mean, there's the taxes that the cannabis can bring in has a lot of potential to really help California. You know?
And, you know, above the taxes and above, you know,
but with the
revenues.
taxes, you got to use them properly because what we're going to spend the taxes on is entirely different than what Colorado and Oregon is doing with it.
You know, man, above all that stuff, above all the taxes and the revenues,
could be very beneficial to us.
What you're going to find is you're going to find a new group of people. You call it a new, already generation of people that haven't experienced what it is, what cannabis is about. And then you're going to find people that are going to try it because it's recreational, it's legal, and they just can. And those people are going to find medical benefits to it.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
They're going to stumble onto it.
Well, even now, I've noticed we've had, you know, older people. You
absolutely.
know, I will say we
know
lot,
that from experience.
Yeah, we do. We got a lot of our veterans out there, you know, that, to, you know, be more precise, Vietnam veterans, you know, when they would go over to Nam, you know, they're talking about how, you know, they have that crazy, you know, this and that.
PTSD. And
and, you know, now that, you know, that we're coming into this, they have a lot of, you know, those false thoughts of that's what it is. And now they're trying this new stuff that, you know, it's regulated, things are tested, you know, they're trying the edibles, they're trying the vape pens, and even the flowers, and they're just like, wow. This, you know what I mean? I'm not... You know, I'm not as stressed. I'm not, you know, I'm doing, you know, some of them are really, you know, surviving through their PTSD with this. You know what I mean?
I get a lot of vets that'll, you know, hit us up on the weekends, and if it's not PTSD that they're treating it with, it's, you know, I can't sleep, or I, you know, my leg, you know.
And, you know, they're discovering that, you know, the side effects of cannabis are way far less than what they're using that is prescribed to them. So it is really an amazing thing that, you know, we are able to do this recreationally and be able to get that out to people who do want to try an alternative. You know, there's medications out there that people make them sick and does this and does that.
And that's exactly, you know, that we've discovered that, you know, just from the delivery service and meeting people that will say, hey, you know, maybe I did it in college. And then I just decided I was going to try it recreationally now.
Right.
And then I found like I'm not taking the pills that I was taking for my lower back pain, or I'm not taking my sleeping pills anymore, or I'm not taking my anxiety pills anymore,
or I'm not drinking those extra beers at night.
You know,
so it can help everyone out.
I'm not going to go into it, but it's all about cannabinoid receptors. Google that.
Yeah.
Google cannabinoid
receptors.
You all have them. We all have them. They're in our body. We don't have opioid receptors. You know, we don't have ibuprofen receptors, but we have cannabinoid receptors in our, body, and our brain and our spinal cord regulates all that and distributes it to the places in our body we need it. And a lot of people don't know that we actually have a receptor in our body that's waiting for us to bring in cannabis. So it can distribute it to, through
the cannabinoid, the cannabinoid.
Yeah, it's a scientific fact, and if you Google it, you can learn all about it. Scientists have said, hey, funny, we got cannabinoid receptors, you know. So.
And it's crazy how we don't share that so publicly, you know what I mean? And how we're not just, you know what I mean? And it's this stuff is amazing. And those that are watching at home, you guys know. I mean, obviously, you guys are either tuning in to either see what we have on the menu, or maybe even to get more information, or maybe you guys are tuning in to see if we are informed about what's going on with our local
Hey, we're pretty informed.
we
may not seem like it.
And we each episode, I think we're on episode 4 now. I think with each episode we really try to bring a different element to the show. We never want you guys to see the same thing or anything like that. So hopefully you guys get everything out of it. And
well, you know what? More so than being educated about what's going on in your community and their ordinances and policies, it's more important to know your rights. And knowing your rights is, what America's built on. I can tell you right now, in California, you have the right to smoke and consume recreational cannabis. Beyond what any board of supervisor or mayor or anything like that says, you have the right to enjoy.
Pops has been enjoying cannabis since before even all this. I'm like, for as long as I can remember, man.
Well,
That was a question I wanted to ask you. As someone who's been in the industry for as long as you've been in the industry for, what do you think of the evolution of cannabis?
Well,
and what it's turned into? Did you ever think that we would be 6 weeks away from recreational use here in the state?
Well, it's funny because
I remember the last time we voted on this and how divided it was.
Right.
This
you know
time,
what?
I
tell you, the first time we had a big division because it was the law and the way that it was written.
Yeah.
It actually was legalizing it for recreational use, but it had some stipulations in there where you could still go down for certain things.
Right.
Yeah.
And until you get rid of that, it's not really legal recreational use.
Yeah.
So a lot of those laws and that policy and that law had to be adjusted. Because people aren't stupid. Right. We want the right to smoke cannabis, but we don't want to be duped in the process.
Absolutely.
There's still something about that I'm a little concerned about, and that's employers' rights to drug test you for marijuana. To my understanding, next year it's going to be okay for recreational use, but your job can still drug test you for it.
And that comes down
but
to the federal. That comes down to the federal.
That's
thing.
my only gripe about it for next year. So can you fix that, please?
Yeah, and you know what? That's going to come down to those people that are, you guys watching from states that don't have legalization. You know what I mean? Get involved. See what you guys can do. See. What petitions you guys can get together, see if you guys can get together medical information to bring to your board of supervisors, to bring to, get that stuff on the ballot, you guys. That's going to be the next step to national legalization,
It's not
over
it's not
yet.
over.
It's definitely not over. Over here on the west coast of the United States, thankfully we have Washington, Oregon, California, we got Colorado, Nevada. We're slowly getting there. I think Arizona just legalized medical.
Right. And they have a really strong market.
Yeah.
Their market is really strong.
We're slowly, getting there here on the West Coast. But, there are those, you guys in the Midwest, there down south, you guys are still fighting that battle, and just, keep doing your research, you guys. Keep fighting for it, because that's what it's going to take to get, you know what I mean, where we are, you know, so we don't have to, you know, they could still drug test us, but not for THC on a job, you know what I mean?
Right.
Because there's guys that I know that are using real substances and work jobs every day, and I'm like, how the hell do you do that? I can't get your job because I smoke cannabis.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, and you know what? That's going to be all about the government rescheduling, you know, cannabis. You know, and until we get it, you know, right now it's scheduled the same as, you know, heroin and cocaine, and we all know,
right,
by far,
yeah,
through experiences of knowing people and everything, there's no comparison.
Oh, absolutely.
So until it gets rescheduled and becomes, you know, recognized for what it is, then that'll change with jobs and stuff like that. So, you know, we can only hope that you know, maybe the millennials will be the first to rise up into those political
and you know, and that takes us
positions,
us younger people, you know. Pops, we won't say his age, but he's about to have a birthday here pretty soon.
I'm old.
But you know, Ashley and myself, we're 27, so we're part of that younger generation. You know, we're right at the, you know, we're 90s kids. We're not millennials. But you know, it takes us, our generation, you guys. You know, let's fight for it. You know, I mean, we're the next set up what our future is, and you know,
yeah, we've come this far. Let's keep it going.
Yeah,
you know, let's help out the other side of the country. I got a lot of friends on the East Coast.
Yes.
Every time they come see me, they're like, Ashley, oh my God, there is weed everywhere.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, I've met people from like Texas. Like, my goodness, Texas people they're amazed at what we have here in California, and you know, that's, you know, we gotta find out how to push for this, you guys, and, and you guys. I mean, it comes down to research. You know, see what, you know, your officials are saying in your state, your county. You know, what your ballots are looking like. You know, get a little bit involved. You know, it doesn't, honestly, like Pops tells me all the time, Shea, take 15-20 minutes today, read the articles. You know what I mean?
That's important.
It really doesn't take too much time to educate yourself.
Well, you know, I think because when I was younger as a kid, and you know, your age anyway, I think the most important thing that we were trying to say was nobody should go to jail for having a bag of weed. And to see where it is now is definitely further along than I think I really thought. But at the same time, I remember sitting around with Mama Bear talking about my pot store, and you know, back before that was even, you know, and I remember I was going to call it like the loading zone or something.
That's not bad though.
We were going to deliver, and people were going to be able to drive up, and I mean, we were talking about this in the late 80s, and people just thought I was crazy. They were like, dude,
look where we're at now.
Yeah, well, even like the other day, we were sitting around, you know, we do family joints very often in our household, and we were just talking about how, like, even the evolution of the flower itself has came, you know, back when it was grass.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Talked about the Mexican and the Colombian weed and skunk.
Right.
And then everything kind of evolving as a phenotype from the skunk bud.
But just from what it used to be back in the day of just
even like concentrates too. It's completely different.
Yeah, everything now is, even though we were talking about recreational, enjoying it, everything now, the way cannabis has evolved, it's all medical. You know, at the end of the day, you know, though we enjoy smoking a joint, I mean, things are how much THC, you know, 20-something% THC, you know, when we eat a cookie, we know exactly how much you know, when we do concentrates, you know, those are all tested, and so everything in the end has a medical end. It's evolved so much to where we, you know, as a consumer, you're not consuming junk, you know, everything's, there's no pesticides, there's none of this, there's, you know, it's
you know, more so than anything, I think people outside the cannabis culture for the first time are being introduced to the cannabis culture. And in the cannabis culture, smoking cannabis was a social thing. You know, the other drugs that we don't have to mention, those are very those are the types of drugs that you do like in confinement. You know, by yourself or with a friend, because misery loves company.
Right.
And the two of you get together and you do hardcore drugs and you peek through the blinds.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, cannabis, on the other hand, and everyone from the cannabis culture knows that's how we socialized.
Right.
It wasn't alcohol.
Yeah?
Nobody got smashed and started
Right.
fighting. We sat around. We smoked weed. We laughed. The better the weed, the harder we laughed.
Right, absolutely.
You know,
I can even remember times like we would go out somewhere and it used to drive Mama Bear nuts. But Pops is infamous for just sparking a joint wherever he is. But that's his way of welcoming people to his circle. You know what I mean? That's who he wants to attract. Is those.
There's two things. There's two tests. If I fire a joint and you walk away, I mean, you don't have to smoke any, but if you walk away with your nose in the air, you can't be my friend. And if my dog doesn't like you, you can't be my friend. So that's it. You know, you got to pass the dog test and you got to pass the weed test.
Right.
You know,
but we do have a lot of friends that don't use cannabis. You
Absolutely.
know? But they understand.
You don't have to smoke to kick it.
Right. And I have a lot of friends. I mean, you guys, I've known Ashley 20 years. Ashley just started smoking 4 years ago, 5 years ago. Maybe?
4 years ago.
4 years ago. And I've been
Shea
consuming
for 17. 18 years.
About we rounded up to 20.
I think the point I'm trying to make about that is, if someone cracked open a beer, and a person A cracks open a beer, and person B goes like, "Oh, I can't be around you. You drink beer." You know.
Yeah, that's just weird. You're like,
Okay, well, I don't want that guy to be my friend. As a cannabis consumer, if someone goes, "Oh, you know, I can't be around you, man. You smoke weed." I don't want to be friends with that guy.
Right.
You don't have to smoke weed with me, but don't form an opinion about me because I smoke cannabis. Because, you know, the old say, you don't know anything about anybody.
Right.
So.
No, never ever. So.
But anyway, it's a social...
I always call it like breaking bread with someone.
It is.
Yeah.
It's very much like breaking bread. And I can tell you many times people that I've had disagreements with, or even serious disagreements with, we've settled our disagreements over a joint and a conversation.
Right.
It's as simple as that.
Well, even a lot of times here in the house, you know, we're discussing things.
I was about to say that.
Yeah, and we'll sit around and, you know, we'll be in a heated debate, you know, and we're family, you know, everyone knows.
We've never been the Brady Bunch.
No, by any means. No.
We're average people. We live average lives.
Right.
We have great times as families, and we have harder days as families. But Shea did grow up in a household where, at the end of the day, we sat around in a circle smoking a joint and kind of just repaired everything that goes on during the day. It's kind of...
and that's kind of always been my, you know, like, let's sit down, let's smoke, and let's talk, you know, because it's the time where you...
And we've always done that with the cannabis joint, and that's just, you know...
From a reasonable age, you guys, from a reasonable age.
Well, they used to sit there and watch us.
Yeah.
You know, kind of...
I'm trying to.
Shea,
I'm not trying to.
You know what?
Years old, rolling Shay's.
I'm gonna tell you something, and this because I'm a horrible parent anyway. All right? Okay. Enough said. I'm a horrible parent. Always have been a horrible parent. I know nothing about parenting. I don't know what it is. I mean, I had pretty good parents, but I don't know what it was. I didn't learn anything about parenting. You know, I always thought, well, kids have a mind of their own. Do something with it, you know?
Well,
you got a mind of your own.
Just use it.
Just do it.
Just do something. Get out of that car seat. Just help yourself.
That's exactly how it was.
But, I'll never forget one time, because I'm a horrible parent. Me and Mama Bear, we were hard workers at the time, and
still hard workers.
Shea was our only kid, sitting in between us, and we were home watching TV. Boy, me and Mama Bear were so glad to be done with our day. We passed that back, and we were going back and forth. And all of a sudden, you know, I looked over at Mama Bear, and Mama Bear looked over at me, and we're like, and Shay's sitting in between us going, "Oh, does that belong to someone? It don't belong to me."
You want to say the age?
Oh, it was probably 5, maybe. You know, He didn't cut. He didn't. Luckily, he didn't do the copycat thing. He didn't smoke any of it. But I'll never forget the look, the way we looked at me and Mom Bear looked at each other like that did not just freaking happen. So anyway, we learned a lesson. We became better parents after that, and make sure and kept it away from our children as long as we could.
It became we hide in our bedroom.
But it's when cannabis is part of your lifestyle. It's.
But on that note, being around it at that age, I have a real respect for cannabis. A lot of people who meet me and stuff, I get complimented quite a bit how educated I am and how well I know dosing or how to start or just even people who are just starting out, and it's because I was really fortunate to grow up with,
stoner parents.
Stoner parents, man. I mean, but they taught us to respect, you know what I mean? It's like, yes, I did start smoking marijuana at a young teenage age, but my parents didn't want me smoking at their house or, in their face.
We had guidelines.
It was, I did. I had to be of age to be able to smoke with my parents, but it was like, use it responsibly, and that's, I got to grow up with that, hey, this is a medicine.
Right.
And I thank them for that because I know a lot about that. And I didn't get to, I was a wild child, but I didn't go overboard on too much in life. So that was the cool thing about it.
And I was that one member in the family for Thanksgiving and Christmas. You always wanted to go take that walk with me.
Yeah.
You got everybody there. Everyone's hanging out. And it's like if I hit the front door, started walking down the driveway, oh boy, bam, that door flew open. Where's he at? Wait for me! Get my jacket!
Yeah. Hey,
I'm getting my jacket!
Pops go, everyone's
Yeah.
Or they just be looking for the cloud,
Right. So, and that was for as long as I could remember, So, I guess, my family had respect for me, regardless,
right.
that it was part of my lifestyle. But I grew up, not afraid to let people know, hey, what I'm about.
Still not.
No.
Like literally, we
never change.
Yeah, no, we don't go anywhere.
Right.
Yeah.
Judge me by my achievements, not what strand I smoke.
Yeah.
Every once in a while, you get a hold of something that's not real good.
Right.
Can't judge me on that.
Right.
But
well, yeah. So you guys, we have a guy helping us out behind the camera. So if you guys did tune in, thank you guys for tuning in. We'll say what's up in the comments afterwards. I'll take a look at everything. I do want to say have a fun and safe Thanksgiving.
Hope you enjoyed this very educational episode.
And try out my new cherry pie. It's going to be Papa Bear's very own family reserve. We should have it on the shelf by tomorrow. By tomorrow, ready to go. And enjoy it. It's absolutely tasty.
I loved it.
Some cherry pie with your turkey this Thursday.
I've noticed I'm baked this wake and bake.
Hey, and my OG Kush is really good.
Oh yeah, the OG Kush, it's gotten better since last week.
I just really needed to cure. I really needed some curing time.
I'll have to try that.
And
Loved it.
I'm gonna slap myself in the hand for putting that on the shelf maybe 4 or 5 days too soon.
And that's why we've held on the cherry pie. We've been really stingy, and I think that's why we're gonna tomorrow we'll crack it open, take a look. But it looks like it's gonna be tomorrow.
We'll check it out in the jars, and if it's ready to hit the market tomorrow, we'll make sure that the patients get what they want.
As well as you guys, Korova. I mentioned last week I was going to bring in the mini cookies that will be here next week.
Those are going to be awesome.
They are, and I believe
they're mini cookies.
They're little, so it's going to be
a bag of them.
A bag of them, so you'll get 10 milligram cookies. And I brought in the Saturday morning cookie. Which are really good. It's like Rice Krispie treats, marshmallow, really awesome, and then ginger chews. That would bring in something holiday.
A nice seasonal flavor for you guys.
Yeah. So we kind of brought in something I think we're going to be right at about $10 on those when we bring them in.
Heavy Hitters has new batteries that
Yes.
they're coming out with.
They'll be here next week as well, probably the same day as...
And it's a button type battery.
We got button batteries
and it
coming
makes the cartridge hit like way better.
Right.
Way better, they
So
said.
yeah,
So-
we've been trying to, Heavy Hitters. We sit down, we talk with them as much as we can.
I got a lot of respect for Heavy Hitter as a flower grower and connoisseur.
Right.
I don't like too much, I don't do a whole lot of dabbing or any of that. I like it, but I do love Heavy Hitter,
and they take care of everyone, not just the deliveries, but they make sure our patients are taken care of. A few of our patients have received T-shirts from Heavy Hitters, as well as like 1 in every 1,000, something goes wrong with the cartridge, and Heavy Hitters take care of us, so we can take care of you guys. So they're warranted. You know what I mean? As long as you guys don't break them, don't put them in your pocket, don't drop them, don't break them. But yeah, they take care of us, we take care of you. So Heavy Hitters is amazing. So look out for the Heavy Hitter cold filters and the new batteries coming out next week.
Still got some great wax on the menu too.
We do. So if you guys are wanting to know, we've got some Gorilla Glue, Blue Dream. We have some Royal cookies that just came out. I just put the Royal cookies out.
Girl Scout cookies, Dark Knight.
Look out for that. As well as, I think, did we get any new strains in this week? I don't think.
Nope, just the
Just the
cherry
cherry
pie.
pie.
Yeah.
Try the cherry pie.
Try the cherry pie. Thank you, Papa Bear, for coming in.
Thank you guys.
You guys
Thanks for
have a
joining
very
us,
happy
Pops.
Thanksgiving.
I was going to wear like a bandana and sunglasses.
I know, this was like...
You
he
had
Pops
like a
is-
whole
Oh no,
elaborate
he like
setup
told me for like
planned.
a week. He
Well,
was like, "Oh, I'm gonna come in all special. It's gonna be the funniest episode."
I thought I was gonna be
and then
on
we come in
Weed
here,
Again.
and then I get it. Yeah, it was a surprise. It was so educational.
I thought I was gonna-
honest- We even have a crowd. You can't see the little crowd in here in the room, but we have a little crowd because Pops was all. "It's gonna be
We
the
got like 10
funniest
people
episode."
here,
Listen,
and they all showed
Yeah,
up.
we were
All
all
I
like, give
know-
them a round of applause.
All I know, my people got a call, said I was going on TV. I thought it was Weedakit. So I got my bandana, my sunglasses ready. Had my Darth Vader voice box, so I could hide
You
my...
thought this was Weeda Kid?
I didn't know.
We're getting there, man. We're Facebook,
Anyway.
YouTube, right there,
Then when I found out it wasn't Weedakit, I'm like, oh.
Yeah,
He's like, what are we going to get,
cut
like 12
this.
views? No, I'm just kidding. But you guys go look at our website, www.betterlivingslo.com. That's betterlivingslow.com. Give Ashley a call or a text today, 805-903-2013.
I'll be here all day.
Again, you guys, please like, share, comment, review, show us some love, and we'll show you guys some love back.
And you can check out my Instagram, too. I'm at Rasta Bear Farms.
Is there any hyphens or anything in there?
Is it all
Rasta, it's got that little bottom line. What's that?
The underscore?
Rasta underscore bear underscore farms. And that's my home. You can see my grows, my strands. You can see me and my little team. I got a little buddy.
Little buddy. What's
My
up, little buddy?
My little buddy.
Little buddy.
He's my team, and me and little buddy.
You've met Jet.
We work
Yeah,
hard.
yeah,
we work
yeah.
hard to bring you the finest cannabis.
Yes.
We won't knock you out.
We won't knock you out. We're great. But thank you guys tuning in. We'll see you
Thanks,
guys next
guys.
week.
Thanks for watching.
Happy Thanksgiving.